Hi, Bill here. Just want to talk all things Transformers just now, tonight, just do a wee change. I'll go over some figures I've got, well, not recently got, just I've had for a while, and some comparison ones I'm going to do, I was talking about the other day. First of all, I'll start with the thing I want to talk about. I've had a wee thought, I've just seen, watching a lot of online, it's like chat shows kind of thing, like topic shows and kind of chat shows. It's online studio based chat shows, like I'll just show you AMC Movie Talk. Now, as you can see in the AMC Movie Talk, they sit about a desk in a studio and talk just about movies. You can tweet in questions and Facebook questions. Now, I'm wondering, why don't they do that thing with Transformers? Not necessarily AMC Movie Talk, but why doesn't someone get a bunch of people in a studio, round a desk, and just talk all things Transformers? It doesn't need to be about figures, it doesn't need to be about toys coming out, or third party figures coming out. It can be about the upcoming cartoon series, it can be about live action movies, it can be about comics, it could be anything to do with Transformers. So I'm just kind of wondering why nobody's thought to do that. Now, obviously, the most obvious reason I haven't done that is the funding. Nobody can afford to do that. With Movie Talk, they've got that AMC company behind them, which has a cinema chain in America, and they can afford to do that. When you've got the other one, you've got on the kind of YouTube chat show, online chat show, is that Kevin Pollak, that comedian, can do all the voices like Captain Kirk and Columbo and all that. He's had his own chat show for a long time. It's a similar kind of setup, it's round a table in a studio, and you just talk about whatever everyday things. But I'm not saying necessarily to talk about everyday things with Transformers, because obviously I'd like to see a studio based internet show that talks about everything Transformers, with people around the table in the same way that they are. The only other thing that does come similar to that, if I can put it on the internet show, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, is A3U Review, because they sit around, I'll just show you that, like a table, about a new, because these guys that do the A3U Review, they sit about a desk, talk about Transformers. I don't know if it's actually in a studio or what it is. They've obviously got some sort of backdrop there, as you can see, but that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Now, this is the only closest to what I'm talking about thing that's out there just now, but I don't know if that's an occasional or weekly or daily show that these guys do. But I'd like to see something weekly that's done similar to this. But obviously, it comes down to funding and all that, and obviously with these guys, they can manage to do that. But with a proper show like AMC Movie Talk, they've got that big AMC company behind them that can afford to do that. So I just don't know. I mean, I would love to see a Transformers show similar to Movie Talk that's sort of like that, where they sit around a table, talk everything Transformers. They only talk about figures coming out and show, what do you call them? These kind of grey kind of ones, the kind of demo type ones that they have on, the ones that are not made up yet, not painted yet. They have those kind of figures coming up, and the third party or first party. But but imagine if something like that talking everything across the board about Transformers. That's the kind of thing I would like to see. But see if is anyone else with Dallas 6, would you like to see a show like that you could see weekly? The other thing they could do is a kind of after show, because John Campion Movie Talk does after show for Arrow, you know, and there's other after shows you get for the Flash that's online based, and you know, they could just talk about the episodes that have just been on previously, you know, like the Robots in Disguise. Sees it's coming up and just talk about them and the good points, the bad points, what they would like to have seen better, and yada yada yada. So, you know, you can comment below. Would you like to see a weekly show to do with Transformers that should be on there? You know, you've got one for movies, which is AMC Movie Talk. You've got that, which deals with those third-party characters, and so on and so forth. But that only deals with these characters. I don't think that goes on to talk about movies and the comics and everything Transformers. It only deals with certain things Transformers that A3U reviews. So they don't talk about across the board. They might, you know, wade in towards other aspects of it, but I think it's the prototypes. It's the prototypes that they had on. That's the kind of grey looking figures that they have on. That was not a prototype, but they do have the grey looking prototypes on. But they just mostly talk about that. They don't talk about everything Transformers. You know, they just talk about the prototypes and the third party stuff. But I mean, to have a show like that in the style of AMC Movie Talk, having people sit around the table in a studio talking everything Transformers, not just that there, what you see there, I think would be kind of cool. But, you know, the downside is that they just don't have the funding to do it. Otherwise, there'd be a show out there already, and this is just the downside of this. You know, we live in an age where everybody's online looking at things Transformers, where even I'm doing this YouTube video, you know, and you could get people like PU on, you know, and you could get Octobotimus coming on and doing the show, because they go to conventions, they're well known, they've done hundreds of these videos. You can see me, I'm no use at it. I'm just a regular Joe, you know. They guys are expert in their field and what they do, and they do hundreds of professional looking you know, reviews of figures, and they sit there and go like that, and you know, do everything. So I mean, people at conventions wouldn't turn them down because they're well known in their field, and you know, people like PU and Octobotimus are well known in their field, so they obviously have higher status than I ever could have. And plus, it would be in America, the studio, you know, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be practical for me to travel there to do such a show if one ever existed. So, you know, these probably be more handier for them to travel to a studio and, you know, be a regular, or maybe even be a front man for the show. You know, it really would be cool. I mean, I don't want to put PU and Octobotimus on a pedestal, thinking, oh, did I have to do this? But, you know, I'm just thinking out loud that these kind of, you know, type of people would be good on a show like that, you know. So that's what I was thinking, you know. And they could get people on, talk about, to plug their new figures or magazines or comics or whatever, anything Transformers related that was coming out, that they met at conventions, because, you know, they would be well known to those people. So, you know, it does stand to reason that you need someone on like that. I mean, you could get Dallas 6 coming on. Oh, we look at Dallas like that. Actually, you'd probably love to do a show like that, but obviously, you know, someone in the professional standing like PU and Octobotimus and you know, that guy there. I can't remember his name. I think it's Alex or something. He does a lot of movie reviews as well as, you know, on doing it with figures. So it would be a nice idea if they could have got, you know, put a show like that together, a proper AMC movie talk style show, or something similar to that, but obviously across the board, talk about everything Transformers, not just third party figures and anything new that's been released. I know a lot of people say, well, we've already got things like you can go to TFW 2005 website and read about that. If you're on Facebook page or Twitter, they release information about that anyway. Yeah, but you just don't get the same delivery with that as you would with us people around the table in a studio talking everything Transformers, in a weekly series, in a weekly show, should I say, not a series, a weekly show. So, I think I prefer that than going and bloody read it on someone's website, or web page, or a Facebook page or Twitter page or whatever, So it would just give that extra dynamic. And I think in this day and age when everything's electronic anyway, you just go online and do all that anyway. You can go onto YouTube and you could watch a show like that. AMC put their show out. These people put their show out, I think it's on occasion, I don't know if it's weekly. I'll just show you how little I know about their show. And you get, what's his name? Kevin Pollack doing his show. I don't know if it's weekly as well. He does his, or if it's occasional. So, the chat show. Now, people say, well, being fan-based, because you get such a vast fan base behind Transformers, they're saying, it warrants such a show like that. People are saying, well, we don't need a show like that. Well, you do. Look at Star Trek Continues, right? The only way they put that together, which is the occasional internet series that kind of continues the original series of Star Trek. The sets look amazing, it looks like the bridge of the Enterprise, and it's really fan-based that helped put that together, they didn't get any professional backing for it, and they eventually put that together. Now, in the same respect, okay, it wouldn't be elaborate sets, the sets wouldn't be as elaborate, the studio set wouldn't be as elaborate as that for a Transformers weekly show, that they could talk about it. The discussion show, that's it, discussion show. I forgot that word at the top of the thing. Discussion show. They wouldn't need to have such elaborate sets. That's a nice looking one there, but they'd be done for copyright if they did that, if they did a proper discussion show, everything Transformers. But I would like to see one, so it doesn't need to be backed by professional people. Yes, AMC, like I said before, is backed by them, and with Kevin Pollack, I don't know who it is that backs them. Well, he reads out sponsors, so you might get people to sponsor the show. But I'm just putting that idea out there. I'm not suggesting that I'm doing the show. Christ, I'm just a regular Joe. I'm not professional as people like Pew and Octobotomus. They could definitely be on a show or do a show like that if they chose to do so. I don't want to put them in a pedestal and force them into it. And no such show has came to fruition, or I'm saying that there is going to be such a show. we've been without one for long enough, so I'm not suggesting that there is going to be one, but it would be nice to see one like that, because people do post things on YouTube. We've all done our own, even me, and even though it's crap compared to other people's our own thing, we would sit there with the new Transformers and we talk about this and that and go, do all that sort of stuff. We've done that for absolutely decades now, and to have a show, a discussion show with Transformers, having Transformers on, you can transform it there, can have the good points, the bad points, articulation, or new figures coming up with third party stuff that these lots seem to do. It'd be really good to have an actual flagship show that deals with all these points and topics, right across the board to do with Transformers. But will we get one? Like I said, probably not, because one would have happened by now if that was going to be the case. Are people likely to back it? again, because it hasn't happened, probably not. I mean, we have such a vast fan base for Transformers. I just can't believe that nobody's thought of this idea before. I mean, will I likely to see a show like that in the future within my lifetime? Maybe towards the end of my lifetime, maybe. Certainly not in the near future, but they definitely need a show like that, going out on a weekly basis. It talks everything Transformers, not just toys and third party figures, you know, everything and anything Transformers, comics, you name it, anything, because, you know, it would be, everyone may tune into it. Yes, you get people complaining, but you get people complaining. There's lots of shows like AMC Movie Talk there it had. There's probably thousands of people complaining, but they've got people on there that can filter out these bad comments and just put the odd nice comment. And oh yes, you might get the rare kind of not controversial, but you'll get the odd lesser, nicer comment, you know, in there that they'll throw in. You know, people can Twitter in, and of course, if the show gets started like that, they would have a Facebook page and a Twitter page for the show, so you could put your comments to the people that are on the show, that are regulars on the show, that do the show, to, you know, to them. They'd have their own Twitter and Facebook page too. But, you know, it is putting a lot of pressure on these people. That's why I don't want to put Pew and Octobotamus in the spot, even though I mentioned their name about a dozen times, and that's what I'm trying to put across here. But, you know, they might not want that kind of attention. But, you know, I'm just giving examples here, and I'm just putting this idea out there that we would all like to see a show. Now, obviously a lot of you don't comment, you look at my videos and you think, ugh, it's crap or whatever, and don't warrant it good enough to comment, but definitely comment on your own Facebook page and your own Twitter page what you think. Would you love to see a show like that, a discussion show about Transformers? It's on weekly, you know, like, it just goes right across the board about Transformers, and of course a kind of after show dealing with the new Robots in Disguise series, you know. It may be on the main discussion show itself that they talk about it, the good points and the bad points of it, you know. So definitely either comment or put a comment out there what you think of that idea on your own Twitter and Facebook page, you know, because if you get enough people behind it, you never know, it might, like the Star Trek Continues thing, an online web series, it may happen, you know. It may take time, it may need people to fund it, but it may happen, and who knows, we might get Octobotamus running it. Not Octobotamus. Sorry, Octobotamus, not you. My mouth spoke before I thought there. Might get Dallas 6 running it and appearing on it, and he might front the show. Sorry, Dallas 6. I know you would love to go on a show like that. Maybe you wouldn't. But definitely put your points across, see what you like. And you, Dallas, would you like to see a Transformers discussion show on a weekly basis on YouTube? You know, like a lot of these other shows that are out there, on internet-based ones, you know. They'll never reach television, but they're internet-based ones. So, I know I'd definitely watch it. I'd definitely tune in every week and watch it on YouTube, you know. So, would anybody else like to see something like that? That covers every basis of Transformers, you know. New stuff, new figures, they do the transformations of these figures on the show, and good points and bad points, and, you know, it basically covers everything about Transformers. I think it's something that's long overdue, people. I think, you know, we've done our own homegrown things about the Transformers figures, you know, whatever level you are at doing it, whether it's crap like mine or to professional like Pew and Octobotamus's level, you know, and quite a few others that are up there with those that do these reviews of these figures. So, you know, I think it's time, a long overdue time, that we have actual show, weekly show that has that on it, you know. is one aspect of that show that has that on it. It's been out weekly on YouTube. So obviously put your points across what you would like to say about that. Okay, I'll talk about other things now. Hold on. Right, I did say on my previous video, I don't know if anyone's watched it yet, of Starscream, this one. One of the things I did mention, and I kind of threw it out there to Dallas 6. Wonder what his size comparison would be like with Star Wars Death Star Darth Vader. And here it is. So he does come up short. Obviously his kibble stands higher, and that's what makes it thingy, but his head is lower. So I think he's probably closer to what Primus is than what Starscream is. I'll take that off. Hold on. There it is there. Oh, I'll stand out because the light can shine on it. So, you know, definitely not as big. The other thing I was talked about, I couldn't remember the name of these giant Transformers, that Optimus and Bumblebee, that it's something to do with weapons that were carried over from the live action movies to Transformers Prime, are weaponizers. Weaponizers. That was them. But I think the weaponizers are probably more that size than that size. So I think the weaponizers are probably come up to that size. I don't have a weaponizer, so I can't do a scale or size scale on them, scale comparison with it, because I don't have weaponizers. But it's the weaponizers I was meaning in my previous video of that character. So it's weaponizers, and I was close by saying weapons, so it's weaponizers. But I think they're probably more that size than him, and that's what I want to talk about that. Now I'll put him out aside because I want to show you something else. I might have to get a torch in here to show you, because I was talking about the paint situation, and there you can see right there how it's scraped off, because right, you can see that blueness coming through that red bit there. That's the paint scuffing marks there. See the blue there? I'll try and offset that light so it's not. Yep, so that's what's happening. It's because of these. Now I also said it towards the end of the video, I mistakenly called it footwells. It's because of the leg cavity that folds over and goes over the inner leg section, and there seems to be some sort of chafing or scraping, and that's what's causing that right there. You know, you can just see that even without the light on it, it's so big. Then now it's flaking off that you can see it. You can see it right there. So that's what's causing that to flake, because of that leg cavity. It fits over the inner legs, and it chafes, scrapes, and that shiny red. I don't know if it's actually what do you call that stuff? Chrome, but it's a chrome-like type shiny red paint that's on it. So that's what's scraping that off. Again, the backs, there's a wee tiny bit there at the back. See, it's coming off at the back too, and it's starting to come off there. You can see as well. I'll try and hold it. I don't know if I can. It's starting to come off there now. You can see it there and there. So there is a lot of at that side as well. It's starting to come up. I don't know if you can get in, but you can see that clearly. But it's starting to come away in. Aye, there it is, away in there as well. So it is wearing, is wearing and tearing, unfortunately. So I don't know if Dallas 6 has got that problem, But he doesn't transform his a lot, so that's probably why his. But I'm not so bothered with mine, because unlike certain purists, and for people who may want to sell these on, excuse me, after they've had them and they want to keep them in pristine condition, so it's kind of hard to do that if that thing outer leg's chafing when you're going over the inner leg. So you do have that issue, and people, it will be a kind of, oh, that's better, it will be a kind of major annoyance to them if they want to try and sell that figure on, if you try to keep it in pristine condition with those flaking parts. But with me, I'm not likely to sell it on, so I'm not so bothered about it. So that is definitely a worry. Now, other videos, better professional videos that cover that figure and reviews, talk about that point too, about the scraping of it. It could have been better. Okay. Right, this is for Dallas 6. He had a issue with the legs. I'm sorry about that you have an issue with it, I'm sorry to hear that your ratchet joint in your legs actually popped out. Mine seem alright, mine don't look as if they're going to pop out of the ratchet's housing. I'm sorry to hear that you had a problem with yours, because it must have just been a defective figure, because, well, that one doesn't ratchet as much. You can hear that one less ratchety. But the only problem, as shown previously in the video for the thingy, the only problem I have is with underbite, because he doesn't work properly. I've even had it opened up, but the spring inside it is kind of weird. It won't stay in its housing properly, the way the insides are put together. The inside workings are put together, so I couldn't get it, and that's knackered, and that's a one-step changer. So that doesn't work properly. So I do have problems. I have got a problem figure in this toy range. So it looks, I don't know if anyone else out there has problems with their Grimlock's ratchet joint or the one-step changer underbite. Maybe they could let us know if they've got any problems with it. I mean, obviously we can't do anything to resolve that, but they may have to go to the company. But you could let us know if there are more problem toys, problem figures out there that have these issues. So if they've found issue with their figures, that they've bought. But aye, so I've had problems too, but obviously mine's with the 1-step instead of the 10-step. But aye, my ratchet joints, and well, on one leg it seems alright, the other leg you can't hear the ratchet so well. It's not very loud, but I don't have any problems. I'm sorry to hear you having problems with yours. It must be a defective toy out of that line, and it doesn't seem to just be limited to yourself. There's, I've had problems with the underbite. So, but do comment either in Dallas 6 or my own. I'll put them in. Comment below in our videos, or even in the Facebook pages and Twitter pages that you're having problems, or in Dallas 6's Facebook page that you're having problems of your own with these toys or these figures, like you have to have a defective one, because there seems to be quite a few of them out there. I think it's something that happens on occasion when you release a toy line. You sometimes get a defective, figure. Now again, hopefully it doesn't happen too often. The thing about what Dallas was saying about the ball joint things, I think the ball joints really just cater for kids that throw the toys about, and because I also used to have G1 figures, and I liked them too. I liked it when they used to have the metal parts on them. But for nowadays, you do get kids that are a little too violent with the toys, and it's obviously aimed for them kids. You know, it does say in the box ages 3 or 4 and up, or whatever the hell it is. And, you know, you do expect them to have a tantrum and throw these about, and then when they break apart, at least you can put them back together. With the original G1 Dallas, you couldn't do that. If it was broke, it broke. Unless you get super glue or something, or some super bonded adhesive, there was no way to fix it. You know, it broke, it was broken. With these, you can at least snap them back together. So I think it really caters for that age range rather than ourselves. Obviously, we're a lot more careful with these toys than some kids are, but I think that's what it's really targeting for, and why they put these joints on. So if they do throw them across the room and they do break, the bits that can come off do come off and can be put back together again. So you don't get a completely broken toy like if it was the case with the original G1s. You couldn't. It was broken for good, unless you, let's say, you happen to glue it back together again, or tried to glue it back together again. But I think that's the reason to put these things on. It's the same with Metroplex. I think he's got, I don't know if he's got ball joints. He does in his thumbs. In his thumbs he's got ball joints. You know, his thumb, well, it's not a kind of ball joint, it's kind of joint that it comes off that you can put back together again. So on his thumbs he can, but I don't know if he's got ball joints, Metroplex. I don't think he has. I think it's just the thumbs, they're not ball joints, it's a different kind of joint. And it does come off, and you can put it back, you can just snap it back on without having the figure broken for good. So I think that's the reason why they're putting it out. Yes, I can understand why you don't like it. You're a G1 kind of purist, and you know, in the way these toys are designed. But you know, I think that today's toy manufacturers and designers are I keep taking these away. I think they just cater for the age range that's written actually on the box, rather than, you know, they don't expect people like us to go and buy them. And you know, kids, they do tend to have temper tantrums and throw them across the room and that. So I think they try and cater for that, and they don't end up with a completely broken toy first throw that they happen to do with the toy, you know. So that kind of answers, well, it doesn't answer that, it just kind of my point on that you were making in a previous video of your own Dallas. But I know I can understand that you don't like ball joints. Everybody's different, but I don't think the toy companies are going to change it just on your one viewpoint. I think it'll take a hell of a lot more than that. But, you know, I think that's obviously what they are aiming, where the toys and these joints on the toys are aiming at, is just the age range written on the boxes of these toys. So you can understand it in that respect, why they're designing a toy like that. So why they design the toys that way. So that answers that. But no, I mean, I can understand you have your own personal preference to these joints that are on the figures of today's toys. I can understand that. Okay, that answers that. I'll go into the next couple of things. Now, I don't know how long I've got, because this damn video cuts out. I did say in my previous Starscream that I had, the only other Starscream I've got is the Transformers Prime Starscream Voyager class, and there it is. I'm not going to bother transforming it. You all know what he's like by now. You've had the figure or seen the review of the figure. Now, the only thing with mine is that bit in there, the peg is broken. So I've got, I can't, oh, I don't know if I can, the peg is broken, so, you know, I don't have that anymore because the peg's broken on it. But, you know, that's it there. It's not the first edition, because it's all this foot kibble back there. I preferred the first edition. The look of the first edition. I never got the first edition, but that's it. But that's that Starscream. Oh, and in one of my previous videos, I did say I had, I don't know if I did upload it at the time or not, I might have mentioned it. The other thing I've got was Silas Breakdown. I don't know if I showed that off in another video, but there he is. Now that Arms Micron is from the General, the General VCon Generals, because this, I had to put it with this the original didn't look anything like the show, but the Jet VCon General, that's it, Jet VCon General, has this weapon with it, and I thought it looked better with this, because it looks more, has that triangle shape that was on the show with Breakdown, so it actually suits it better. Again, you don't need to see the toy, you've seen it. He does have the wee Silas looking face in it, it's not even painted up or nothing, and you've seen reviews of this figure, and you've either got this figure or seen reviews of it. It's quite nice. The only problem I have with it is the colour, because the Silas Breakdown in the show was I'm sure he was a kind of dark navy blue, but this one's just pure black. They could at least get the colour right. That's the only downside of it, is that he's not the show colours of Silas Breakdown. He's just jet black. He's not actually kind of very dark blue. He's completely black. He's not dark blue at all. That's my only gripe about it. And of course that the Silas face on it isn't painted. They could have painted that up. But that's my only gripe about that. The other figure I've got, which I've had for a while, is a lot of people wanted at the time, couldn't find it in Toys R Us. I was lucky enough to, it's either War or Fall of Cybertron Shockwave. So I've got him. This keeps going at the back. So that's him there. See, at the time this came out, everybody wanted to get a hold of it. There is a repaint called a different name, I can't remember it, if it's Jetfire or I think it's one of the what do you call them, the aerial bots kind of name it has. It's got one of the kind of names. It's not Jetfire, it's one of those aerial bots names I think it has. It's just a repaint of this. It's an Autobot. I'm sure it's something like that. Someone can maybe comment below. But I know there's a repaint of this. I'm sure it's got one of the aerial bots names. It's gone under. So I know that I've got this, and people wanted it and say how am I lucky so and so if I get it. There's a few people got it. I don't know if Dallas 6 has got one. It's quite nice. I like it. And it's definitely, I like the big eye. Or the big, oh, so it's that's his chest, isn't it? I like the big kind of chest. It looks G1. Okay. The other thing I got, this is a knockoff version. I used to have the original of this, is Broadside. G1 Broadside. I'll not bother transforming it. The only thing I don't like is this. That won't stay down. The original Broadside, that clicked in and stayed down. The knockoff, it's a knockoff. It doesn't. And it doesn't have the front wheel. Knockoff again. You know, so it doesn't come with it. And it doesn't come with the missiles for the wings, you know, the wings for that, and there should be missiles in there. So it didn't exactly come fully stocked like the original G1 that I used to have. So that's Broadside. But I think it does. And of course the stickers will start coming off. You see, you've got the problem with the stickers there. They start to come off. Okay, that's that. The other thing I've got that's KO is the oversized KO, as you can see, Soundwave, but look at the size of the oversized cassettes, they're amazing. And that Laserbeak is pretty cool. I do love that Laserbeak. I don't know if I can shine some light on it. There it is, it's pretty cool. Laserbeak, I do love the oversize of it. It almost makes it look Masterpiece, but without the obviously intricate detail of Masterpiece. It's still a pretty cool looking figure. You know, look at that chrome shining there, almost lens flare like J.J. Abrams. Oops, That's Laserbeak. Obviously Ravage, it's the same, but he can't stand up. Yep, there's another lens, there's another J.J. Abrams there. I'll take that off for a minute. And there, see, oversized, pretty cool. Ravage, oversized. And that's that. And of course, the figure, that keeps coming off. The figure himself, you know, pretty cool. That's when the damn thing to stand up properly. Again, I'll put the light on so you can see the thing with it. And both cassettes do fit in the cassette housing when they're in cassette mode, which is pretty cool. So I do love it. Yes, it's a lot of problems with it that you do get with knockoffs. You know, the foot's loose and you get loose parts that don't stand up very well. It doesn't stand up very well because the foot's loose and all that. But yeah, pretty nice figure. I do love the oversized cassettes that you get with it. Pity you didn't get Rumble and Frenzy with it. That's the problem. You know, you only get Laserbeak and Ravage. I think you can get ones on eBay, so you can buy them, but I pity you didn't get them all with it. That's pretty cool. I know with the Masterpiece, one of him, you get all the cassettes with it. But apart from that, you don't. With the knockoff, you don't. The other figure I've got, I don't know if Dallas 6 has got this. I'll have to do this quick. I don't think how long this bloody video's got. Is Stratosphere. Now you don't. Now with the British one that came out, you don't get the little shuttle stroke gun with it. You know, the little shuttle, and of course it comes with the. If I can do the damn thing, it comes with. Yep. I'll have to do that again. It comes with the tiny Optimus Prime. He's almost WST sized. Whoop, let you see that. Ah, bollocks. There it is, yeah. He comes with a tiny Optimus Prime. So that's Stratosphere. I don't know if Dallas 6 has got a Stratosphere, and maybe he's got the one with the gun on it, because in America I think it came with a gun. The shuttle you could put in the top there, and the British one didn't come with that. So that's him. He's teeny. He's even small, and I think he's about the same size as WST. So there it is, wee Optimus Prime. Cool. Now, because I've got the oversized knockoff Soundwave, I've also got the titanium one as well. See, he comes with a tiny Laserbeak too. I think this is a wee bit of a state, this one. But you can see that. I'm not going to transform it. It's mostly metal and bits of plastic. And he's got he stores his battery things in there. You can see. So, most of you have got the titanium one. I don't know if Dallas 6 has got it, and his head's in there. I don't need to bother transforming it. You can see that. If you've already got the figure, and you can see it in other videos, the titanium one. But that's him anyway, the Soundwave. Okay. Right, Dallas 6, because you're always starting in with these Transformers caps that you wear in your boy, how about a cap bot? You know, you just close them together. I might not can do this on screen. I don't have enough. Hold on, I'll just have to transform it. It's going to stop sometime soon. I better just transform this quickly. Sorry I didn't show you it transforming. I've had these videos cut out before when I'm mid transforming it and try to stitch two videos together. Nightmare, try to put it up on YouTube's a murder. A nightmare. So that's it on cap mode. See, Dallas 6, I don't know if you've already got one. You should probably have got them, but you can get a Decepticon one as well. And that's it in cap mode. See, so like you. That's a cap towards the screen, Dallas. I'm nicking your opening and closing. I'm nicking your closing shot, Dallas 6. So there we go. There's Catbot just finishing saying cheerio. I hope you like this. It's a wee bit different from my normal thing. I've covered a few figures that I've probably shown before, and just expanding on it a wee bit. And I do like the idea of a weekly discussion show of Transformers. So let's see how. If you want to comment below, you can. I do get a lot of people viewing the videos, so there are people at least viewing them. I just don't comment on them. But I would like a discussion show. to happen, but I doubt it ever will, because it hasn't happened. One hasn't happened yet. I better go anyway. I'll just do a closing shot of the catbot, like in Dallas 6 style, okay? Right, that's me, over and out, bye.